farming?
You spelled farming wrong.
Well, actually, this type of farming is similar to regular dairy farms, except that the animals kept on this farm are genetically modified to produce specific proteins in their milk. These animals are called transgenic animals. Transgenesis is a biotechnology method that introduces genes from one species into an unrelated species.
How does it work?
Well, it starts at the DNA level, where a gene of interest is isolated from a strand of DNA. Then, the DNA is cut at a specific point by a restriction enzyme. The restriction enzyme recognizes specific base sequences of the DNA strand and cuts where the sequences appear. Then, the cut DNA is inserted into a vector, along with a promoter, to ensure the gene is expressed only in the host organism's milk. The vector carries the gene of interest into the organism that will produce the protein. An alternative method is nuclear transfer. This technique injects the gene and an antibody-resistant gene into a fertilized egg. Many eggs are injected at once, but only the eggs that successfully express both genes survive and are implanted into a surrogate organism. Virtually 100% of these implanted eggs will grow into a transgenic animal.
That's pretty cool. But how long does it take before scientists can get an animal that produces therapeutic proteins?
For starters, there are two paths that can be taken to create a transgenic animal. An embryo can be modified to express the protein in the milk, or a normal female cow can be mated with a genetically modified bull to produce a calf that will express the therapeutic protein. Once a transgenic goat is born, lactation can be induced in both male and females at approximately 2 months of age, a total of 7 months after embryonic injection. Alternatively, female goats can be allowed to reach sexual maturity where they begin lactating naturally at about 18 months of age. A mature male goat can sire a transgenic offspring, taking a total of about 28 months from the initial transgene injection to when therapeutic milk is being produced. Each animal expresses the protein at different levels. Scientists begin their process by taking 5 or so test animals called founders that will express the protein. The founder that expresses the protein the strongest is used to expand the herd size in order to meet production demands. A female goat will typically produce 3 liters of milk each day and will yield about 3 kilograms of therapeutic protein each year. An efficient purifying system separates the therapeutic protein from the milk, where it is processed into FDA-approved medicine. Tracy, the first transgenic ewe, was made in 1990 in Scotland by the Roslin Institute, the same institution that created Dolly, the first cloned sheep. Tracy produces milk that contains the human protein alpha-antitrypsin, which is a potential treatment for cystic fibrosis.
It seems like cows would be a better choice because cows produce a lot more milk than goats. But you've been talking about goats a lot. Are goats a better choice than cows?
You're right to think that cows produce more milk than goats, almost 10 to 20 times more per year. However, goat milk is closer to human milk and therefore is more easily ingested by humans. Currently, cows and goats are both being used to produce more than 60 therapeutic proteins, which include insulin, growth hormones, and anti-clotting factors.
That's super cool. What else are transgenic animals used for?
Well, in 2001, 2 scientists inserted spider genes into goats so that the goats began to secrete silk in their milk. The company, Nexia Biotechnology, is extracting the strands of silk and weaving it into threads to create light, tough, flexible material, which is called biosteel. Biosteel will be the first man-made fabric made from spider silk. So what is farming? It's the practice of breeding and raising transgenic animals for their therapeutic milk. Scientists are currently using goats and cows to produce over 60 therapeutic proteins such as insulin and growth hormone and anti-clotting factors. Farms are also being used to produce natural materials that otherwise wouldn't be able to be harvested in mass quantities, such as spider silk. Although still in need of improvements, transgenic animals are well on their way to becoming an integral part of tomorrow's medicine.